I'm Robert Cavuto, and today on Metal Rules, I'm pleased to be speaking with Michael Kiske of Helloween for the release of their new album, Giants and Monsters, due out on August 29th. Michael, welcome and thank you so much.
Hello.
I can't tell you how much I'm loving the album. I have supposed to be doing other interviews with other people and other artists, and I can't stop listening to your album. That's how much I
Well,
love
that's good. You probably know better than I do because I've been listening to the songs when I did the vocals, and until then, I mean, since then, I haven't listened to the album anymore. I got to do that again because I have to get some of the songs into my system.
Yeah, you definitely do. With this album and the self-titled album from 2021, are you seeing Helloween get back to their original signature sound from the late 80s with the seven keys, part one and part two? Has it been a conscious decision?
No, nothing that we actually did was a conscious decision, really. Even with the when you look at the lyrics of the second record now, it looks like they're in the same vein. It's
Yes.
like very spiritual and stuff, but it was not intentional. It just happened like that. Um, but I agree. It's like we have the material actually for another one already written.
Wow.
So we could actually do Giants and Monsters Part Two, but that's just because we have so many songs, you know.
Yeah.
It's a very creative phase right now. I think the band is just at a very good place at the moment.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I think you can hear that.
I do
I
too.
I think the album is more organic. It's a more round thing than the previous one. I
Yeah.
mean, the previous one was good. It was received well, but it was, and for my taste, it was a bit overloaded. It was too
Okay.
much information.
Yeah, I love this new one. I'm really thrilled with it. You talk a little bit about the writing aspect, and it was very organic. So the theme of gods, giants, saviors, the universe, it wasn't discussed. It was just everybody went in their own direction and came back with this type of
Yeah,
overall thinking.
I mean, there are people in this band who have always been very spiritual,
Yeah.
not necessarily religious. That's a different story, but spiritual, like
Mhm.
connected. Um, but it was there was we were surprised. Sorry, we were surprised ourselves when we did a old-fashioned listening session in
Mhm.
April. We invited journalists and like we used to do it all the time in the
Mhm.
80s and in the 90s. We did the same thing again. And the first couple of interviews we did, it was with everybody. It was the whole band, and there were a couple of people asking questions. That's when we kind of really discovered that the lyrics have almost like a red line. It's almost like,
Totally.
but it was not intentional. It's just the maybe it's also the time
Mhm.
because times are kind of nuts. It's like the whole world
Oh
seems
yeah.
to be crazy. So it's like it has a tendency when the outside world gets scary that you try to find your inner focus, your
Right.
center, and figure out what matters to me and stuff. But I mean, especially when societies become very superficial,
Yeah.
that's when a lot of people asking questions more and look for a deeper meaning, which is there, but you need to search for it. You need to ask questions, you know. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why it all goes in some kind of an equal. But we're not so far off anyway, as in terms of how we understand life, you know.
Yeah, and I know it's not a concept album. I know it's more of a running theme through it. And I've always enjoyed your lyrics. They've always been very abstract, very ambiguous to your earlier point. Do you like leaving that little bit of a space, a gap for people fans to fill
Oh yeah.
in and
Oh yeah.
interpret their own way?
That's what we did the title really. But it's not very concrete. Who are the giants? Who are the monsters?
Mhm.
It's not even clear who are the good, who are the bad. You know what I mean? It's just in the beginning, Kai wanted it to be called Monsters
Mhm.
because he just thought that you can do funny things with it. It was not necessarily supposed to be spooky or dark or anything like that. The first approach was to make it a little funny.
Yeah.
But we thought the others just thought it's too little. It needs a bit more than just monsters. It was a bit too primitive, so we ended up with giants and monsters because we liked the dynamic. And we had tons of covers from artists that were doing suggestions, and very different to what ended up being the cover. We were like, I can't tell you what it was, but there was a completely different cover that we were deciding on, and we just didn't do it in the end. It would have been very controversial. I mean, not at
Oh,
all in a classical way. It would have pissed off many. But that was the idea. But we didn't. We ended up not doing it because we found another band who had something similar, so we just couldn't do it. But it's okay now. We ended up with the same dude who did the
yeah.
previous cover, and so it has some kind of the cover is really abstract. If you ask me, it's almost like just a gesture. It's almost like I don't know what you call it, this type of art, but it's not as classical as the previous one. And so you
Well,
gotta
that's
look
what I
more
love about it.
carefully. Yeah,
I thought it was great, the continuation of using the same artist, the same similar
yeah.
theme. I thought it was really cool. How does that translate to merchandise? Does that work well?
You mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're planning to do. It's like I don't gotta go. I mean, that's the good thing about it. We don't have to think about these things. It's like as a musician, it's good to have people taking care of the business. I mean, if they
Yeah,
wouldn't, we would all be just dead. We're not business people at all. None of us.
we stay away from the business side.
Oh yeah. And that's why we got fucked in the past. But now we got people that we can trust, which is much better.
That's always good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, there's a very cinematic feel to all the songs on this album, particularly Savior of the World, which pulls fans into the story. And I love that cinematic approach. Halloween's always done that really well. And you pull it in. How important is that to you, to the band? A cinematic
I
approach.
think it's just like I said, none of this is intentional. Even when we started to do Keeper One and Keeper Two, there was no plan to have a specific style. We just sucked in what we were excited about, and it was bands like Maiden, Priest, Metallica, Accept, Scorpions. All that kind of came together, and we gave it our own kind of twist, as every band does. I mean, there's not really any band that invents anything for real. It
Mhm.
just seems like it because every band, every musician learns from somewhere. I
Mhm.
mean, just getting the idea of making music
Right.
is usually you get excited about something. But when you have enough identity, you give it a fingerprint and it sounds new for the listener. This
Right.
is how
Right.
things like that happen. And this is how we never thought about today a lot of people always say that that we invented something. I don't really see how, you know what I mean, because in our opinion we were stealing from everyone.
Yeah, and that's what the melting pot of music is. Everybody's doing
Yeah,
that, taking all their influences, and that's what makes every band sound different.
exactly. And if you dig deeper, if you talk to any of those bands that are, for instance, supposed to be the inventors of heavy metal, when you talk to them, they will point out bands that they were excited about,
Right.
and you just extend on it. You work on it. You bring it to another level. You're part of a process.
Yeah. You mentioned that you have almost a whole album, and a second album of this all
Oh
done.
yeah.
Is it all record? Is it
No,
recorded?
but the songs are all there.
Songs are all there.
We had about 30 songs.
Wow.
Yeah,
That,
and they're
yeah,
not written by AI.
yeah. I was going to ask you that later on. I know that you guys really, you're one of the few bands that really embrace technology. You got the
No,
CGI.
they're not written by AI. They're
Yeah,
not written by AI. That's what I said. They're written by us.
that's
No,
great. That's
we have about six songwriters if we want to. No. This was supposed to be a joke. I mean, this is so ridiculous, this AI songwriting crap. I mean, with Spotify, with this fake band that doesn't even exist. Did you see that?
no,
With a
I didn't
million,
see that at all.
1 million streams. And
Oh,
then people wanted to figure out who is this band, and they were trying to find out, and then they realized they don't exist. There's no bio, they don't play live because they're not real. The people don't exist. The music is AI created. Sounds great.
yeah,
That's the dangerous part about it.
right.
But isn't that crazy? Isn't that insane?
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. I know there's a lot of images on Facebook, and I'd be like, "Is that real? Is
Yeah,
that?"
but Spotify has a few bands that are completely AI created. The whole music, the whole record, the images,
Incredible,
everything's just
incredible.
AI, and people bought it.
Yeah,
So now they get rid of musicians.
That's yeah, we're all lost our jobs, right? How am I going to interview AI, right?
I'm sure it's going to have like an opponent movement sooner or later. People, I mean, already people in the metal scene over here in Europe, they don't like it at all when a band uses AI for the
Mhm.
artwork, for instance.
Oh
You know,
yeah, yeah, I agree.
you get this is good because they want creativity. They want people
That's
to
it.
be creative and not a computer doing it for you.
That's true.
And I'm telling you, the side effect is going to be that people will degenerate. If you don't use your own mind anymore
Hmm.
to have ideas, if you don't use your heart and your soul anymore to be creative in music, you will degenerate.
I
You will
agree.
lose these abilities. This is more than just an interesting gimmick or fun to write songs. No, it's about losing your soul.
Sure.
AI is cool. AI is exciting. I play around with it,
Hmm.
with images and stuff like that, but it shouldn't overtake your creativity because
Agreed.
that keeps you alive, being productive, using your mind.
Yep. You know, the truth is, I work in the corporate world, and they want you to use AI. They want it better, faster,
Yeah.
and they want it more streamlined, and they want you to do it in such a speed. So you run it, you write a presentation, you run it through AI. It's like, holy shit, this is better than I could have came up with. You have to
Yeah.
start with a solid foundation. You can't just go in
Yeah.
and say, write me a presentation. But if you do the bullets, and then you say, this is what I want to talk about, and they tweak the bullets, make it more strategic,
Yeah,
it
but you
really
should
takes
make it your own thing. Stay yourself.
Mm,
The whole AI problem is, and I know what you're talking about. I'm not living in your reality,
yeah.
but I can imagine by
Yep.
what you just said. But it's in the end, this all turns out to go to wipe out individuality.
Yeah, I agree.
But you don't even write your emails anymore. You have AI taking care of that. Fuck it. We just get rid of personality, identity, humanity like that.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree.
I mean, it'll correct itself because it will depend on the individual how to deal with it. You
Yeah,
will have those who use it to a certain extent where it is a tool
right.
to get some results, but it should never take over your creativity,
It
and it
could be a
should never
bell-shaped
wipe
curve.
out your personality. You
It
have
could
to
be a
know when
bell-shaped
to.
curve where it's hot, it's hot, it's hot, it's
Yeah,
boring, it's boring, it's boring, and then
yeah.
you know.
And it's like the music that AI creates is just taking from what is there. It's not original. It
Right.
only works with information that is there. So it's
Yep.
like real originality, and it cannot have a soul. It can fake it, but it cannot have a soul.
No, definitely not. You know, talking about your lyric writing, glad to hear it's not AI. Their lyrics are written in different ways, different times, different purposes in your life, different frame of mind. Do you find yourself creating something really great one day and then something maybe adequate the next?
I don't know. I don't. How do you mean that? It's like,
So, like, you know, one day you're sitting down to write the song and it's like
yeah.
it doesn't work, and then the next day you try it and it's
Oh,
because you
that's
have a
always
different
how it
place
is.
in
I mean,
mind.
like
Yeah,
when you try to write songs, you have a lot of crap. I
yeah,
mean, you just have to force yourself to have a specific time of the day where you just create the space so things can happen,
Mhm.
but it doesn't mean they will.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know any, even like the freaking best songwriters that I could imagine that didn't go nuts because they just didn't have ideas. And you write maybe like 20 crap songs until you have one that
right.
really does it. I mean, of course, you have phases, you have blockades. Is that the word?
Yep,
Writer's block.
writer's block.
I mean, it's yeah, it's a painful process. Every songwriter has that, but that's part of the even Beethoven.
Yeah,
He said it's what did he say? He said it's 80% transpiration and 20% inspiration.
pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, going back to the savior of the world, you hit the high notes tremendously. You still got it. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many singers out there that I've been fans up, I grew up with, who can't hit those notes
Yeah.
anymore. How does it make you feel that you still got it?
Happy?
Yeah.
No, it's like if you don't violate your voice, that's
Yeah.
the key.
Did you
You
always
you
take
always
care of it?
got huh?
Did you always take care of your voice?
Yeah, you gotta watch yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta sing mindful. When especially live. And everybody's different. So to a certain extent, it might. I mean, there are singers out there. I mean, look at Tom Jones. I mean, the guy's over 80, and he
Yeah.
can still. I mean, he sings a little lower, but he still sounds fantastic when he does this stuff. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it is possible. I just saw a video of Brian Adams, a very new. He still sounds great,
Yep.
and his voice is rough, but he can still do it. It has to be natural, and you shouldn't try to force your voice in a way that it doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
If it hurts, if you do something that is not you, good example that I'm always pointing out because that question comes up, or the statement or question comes up quite often, is Robert Halford. He was singing so hard his entire life, but because of this being his personality and being a reflection of who he is, he could take it. His
Yeah.
voice was able to handle it because it was part of his personality.
Right, right.
If I would do that 1 year, gone, because that's not me.
That's
But
not your personality.
it has to be you, and it has to be natural for you, and then it works. And if you feel things are changing, your voice is changing, you got to adjust to it. But I think the key thing is do not violate your voice. When you rehearse with your band for 2 or 3 hours, you should still after the rehearsal be able to talk and have a voice.
Yeah,
If there's nothing there, you do something wrong.
for sure.
If you do a rehearsal where you are in control and it fucks up your voice, you will certainly fuck it up on a tour
Yeah.
because
I,
that's another level.
I was watching the Bonjovi documentary. Obviously he's open about his
Yeah.
vocal issues.
Yeah.
Do you do the warm up? Do you do the warm down after the show also?
I don't do it as much anymore. I
Yeah.
was like overdoing it out of probably insecurity. It's like when I started to do first live shows again with Avantasia or Unisonic, I was like 1.5 hours. I was singing Elvis tunes before the show, which is
Wow.
insane. I don't have
Yeah.
to do that. So it's like when you're in shape, when the voice is trained and all that, just a little,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
2 or 3 Elvis tunes with a ukulele or something is enough. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't have to do it as much as I always thought I have to. I figured it's like I've been doing a little tour with sort of a classic meets rock kind of thing. Was an orchestra over here in Europe a number of years ago, okay, 15 years ago or something like that. And Joey Belladonna from Anthrax was there. He never warms up.
He's tremendous. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
He just goes out there, sings, and sounds great. He just does because it's natural to him to sing
Yeah.
like that. He
It's like
doesn't
talking.
violate it.
It's like
Yeah.
talking.
Yes.
He could do Dio, he could do Rainbow, he could do obviously Anthrax, and he could do Journey. And it's like he could switch it
He's a
up.
great guy. I really like him. He's also a very, very nice guy,
Yeah,
very down
one of my
to
favorite
earth.
singers.
I remember that he was cutting oranges and was handing oranges pieces over to me. That's the last memory that I have before the gig.
One of my favorite songs you're singing on, "A Little Is a Little Too Much." Tell me about the creation of that song. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, he had an explanation. I mean, Andy wrote it. It could be understood sexually, but that
Mm,
would be a little boring.
mm.
So he says it's about anything where that little extra. I mean, it's like you are in a relationship, and when the woman finally wants divorce, it's not necessarily because of the toothpaste not being squeezed the right way. You know what I mean? That's just the last bit.
Yeah,
That's the
the
last
straw that broke the
little
camel's
bit.
back, right?
Yeah. Or it's like that last drop that makes the I don't know the cup flow over.
Right,
You
right.
know, and that's how it often is. It's not that thing, but the last bit that is just a little bit too much.
I'm really interested in the creative process that you guys have. Do the guitarists come up with demos and hand them over to you, Darius, and then you guys develop your own lyrics, your own melodies, bring them back, and the winner gets to record, sing it, or gets it used?
It usually is like that the songwriter, I mean, I would say like 70% of the
Yeah.
time, the songwriter has in his mind who's supposed to sing it.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes not. And then we look at the song. Sometimes I feel like that's an Andy song. I don't
Yeah.
even try. It's this is you, and very often it's the other way around. I can usually sing anything that Kai or Waiki are writing, and sometimes we try it out. Most of the time, it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
It can still happen that Andy does vocals for something, or I, and then after we've done it, we say you should give it a try too. I didn't feel so good or whatever. I'm not so sure.
Wow.
Maybe you can do it better or whatever. That's how it works usually.
That's pretty
Uh,
cool.
um, and sometimes we all three do them.
Yeah.
And then the producer says, yeah, not who's better. It's
Yeah.
just who shines the most,
Right.
who can shine the most on what tune. But it's not so difficult because we are so different.
Yeah. I know you guys have, you had to really think who was singing what. And then I was like, all right, I get it now. And then I looked at the little call sheet they gave me and I was like, okay, I get it now. You
Yeah.
guys also have 5 duets, roughly. I mean, I can't think of
Yeah.
the proper
Yeah,
word to
we
say
don't
it.
do as many as on the last record.
Yeah.
We want to do a little less than,
Yeah.
like I said, I thought the previous record was a little over the top. There's too much information, and part of it was also too much switching going on.
Right. Right. What, this is Tokyo. Got it stuck in my head. Can't get it out. What made you feel that was the best song on the album or the first song that you would want to make a single for?
I think that was a management choice, really. I mean, it was
Oh, really?
suggested, and we just didn't disagree.
It's a great song. I think it's a perfect song for it too.
Yeah, I mean, we don't necessarily go for the typical a single I mean, when you look at the single we did for the previous record, it was Skyfall,
Hmm.
which is long, like 9 minutes or something like that. We did a very, very expensive video for that one. So that would naturally be the one you choose for a single. But this time it's the obvious one.
Yeah.
We did another video. I'm not supposed to say it, okay?
Okay.
But it's yeah. Of course they're perfect for singles, but sometimes we don't go that way. Sometimes we go with a speedy song or something like that. I don't know what makes the decision. I don't know what the thinking is, but Tokyo definitely works, and we all have a love affair with Japan and especially Tokyo.
No, that's great. I was wondering too. I saw you guys at Terminal 5 in New York City last May, and it was a sweaty May. I think it was raining, humid. You were on stage with a t-shirt, a zip-up hoodie, and a leather jacket for the
Yeah,
entire show. Now,
it
everybody was
doesn't matter.
dripping wet. How did
It
you?
doesn't matter. I could be in my underpants and I would still sweat. It doesn't really matter. So in the end, I'm just wearing my stage clothes and don't give a fuck. It's like
Wow.
it's hot anyway. You know.
Yeah, between the lights, I got to believe that you must have been roasting. I didn't know how you. I was wondering how you didn't pass out, and you
Yeah.
didn't. You didn't take off any layers from the beginning to
No.
the end. You kept them all on.
Yeah. 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 I don't remember. I don't. Maybe later on, I sometimes did something else underneath or something like
Yeah,
that. But it's in the end, it really does not matter. You could be on a t-shirt, you would still sweat.
yeah. No, I
It's
forget that.
yeah.
After 40 years of performing, it's very physical. It's very demanding. Is it taking a toll on you nowadays as we all get older?
Yeah, in a way that you are more tired. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the longer the tour goes, the more it drains. It's like when you were a teenager, you didn't care. It didn't matter.
Right.
These days, I need to get my sleep. If I don't get my sleep, I mean, I can still take it. Also, don't forget we have three singers, so it's like it's not everything. It's not everything is on my shoulder. We
Right,
share,
right.
which makes it a lot easier. But the shows are not necessarily the problem. It's more traveling
Yeah.
and sometimes not getting enough sleep. Yeah, the older you get, the more. But we are like not in America, but everywhere else, we are more successful than ever before. So it's like
Oh,
you travel well, you have good hotels, you like all the festivals we play over here, we're headlining,
yeah.
you
Mhm.
know. So that may America is actually where we're like the least successful, but it has always been like that. And our music was always very European. We're not like the Scorpions. The Scorpions, even though they sound German, especially when you listen to Klaus, he has this accent and
Yeah.
all that. But the music, especially like when you listen to from like Blackout on, was kind of American influenced. It was
Totally.
very radio friendly and stuff like
That's
that.
exactly it. It was
And I
designed
think
for
that
radio.
I think that's part of why they were so big. Helen was never that huge, big in America, but at least we can play, which is
Yeah.
fun. It was great fun. I really enjoyed the last tour we did. I'm really looking forward. Even though it was small, it was fun. It was a great vibe. Audience were great. It was good
Yeah, I
fun.
think that show in New York City was sold out. It was packed, and
Yeah,
everybody.
there was even like two or three shows that were even a little bigger. It's like we were almost like 4,000 in I think in Los Angeles or something, which
Uh-huh.
wasn't so bad. And Chris Jericho showed up and sang a song with us.
That's cool.
Yeah.
He's a fun guy. Are you gonna come back to support this album to the United States?
Oh, yeah, yeah, in April
Oh, really?
next year. Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
If we get in.
I
Songs
get it.
become really difficult every time, more and more difficult. The hassle you have to do before, what they want you to do. You even have to show
Money.
them golden records if you're even worth, you know, mentioning. It has become pretty insane, but
I
so
heard
far
the money's it's to get in is expensive too. The visas.
everything is like every time we try again, which we haven't done that often when it
Yeah.
comes to North America, especially me. I mean, I was there in the 80s and then twice now since Pumpkins United, I think. I think so, yeah. Yeah. 2018 and 23. And it gets more and more difficult, which is weird,
Yeah,
we're not even from Islamic countries, we're just
it's true.
Germany.
Yeah. Any songs off the new album you're looking forward to playing live?
Oh yeah, Into the Sun.
Great song.
We're gonna play that. I don't know yet. I haven't, like I said, I haven't really. I'm getting to the point where I have to look to the set
Yeah.
and say, okay, I gotta learn this one, gotta learn this one. Um, but it also we play songs we haven't played for ages or ever. We asked the fans if there any particular songs that they would like to have in the set,
Mhm.
and we took them in account. There will be some. It's probably not so interesting for you, but it's like the places where we played many times now. This is it's a good thing to do to
Yeah.
exchange some of the songs so that
Get
it's
some of the
not only
deeper cuts that you don't
yeah
get to hear. So that's kind of fun.
yeah.
Listen, Michael, I want to thank you so much for your time. I can't say enough great things about this album. I love it, and I going to be counting the days until you come back to New York or New Jersey, and I'm going to see you guys.
And we
So
do pretty much the same thing. We do pretty much the same thing. Maybe a little, some places a little bigger. I don't know. That's what he said last time. But it's. I'm sure we're going to be in New York. I have no doubt. Probably the same place.
yeah, that'd be great. It's a great place. Well,
All
thank you so
right.
much, Michael. Have a great day. Okay.
Okay, you too. And
All right.
thanks for
Bye
your interest. Bye.
bye.